Chiefs Kingdom, we've got a fun one today. Travis Kelce just made his opinion of Jaxon Smith-Njigba very clear, and the NFL world took notice. When the future Hall of Famer tips his cap to a rising star, you listen. Let's talk respect, rivalry energy, and what it tells us about where the league is headed and what it means for the Kansas City Chiefs. This is Kansas City Chiefs Today. Smash that like and let's sprint toward our push to 5,000 subs, because when 87 speaks, it echoes across the NFL. Let's roll. First, who is in the spotlight? Jaxon Smith-Njigba, Seattle's young wide receiver 1, has been torching secondaries in 2025. He's stacking yards, moving chains, and flashing big play swagger on prime time. That's the kind of tape veterans respect. And when you've been at the top like Travis Kelce, you recognize the real thing. Kelce's take on JSN hit on two levels: production and personality. The numbers are the first clue, because production is the loudest argument in the NFL. And the style? That's how you win the locker room and the crowd. Seattle's schedule gave JSN some serious stages this year: Monday Night Lights, red zone moments, third and gotta have it snaps. He delivered again and again, and that's exactly the kind of sustained pop that gets mentioned on podcasts and pressers and around film rooms. Remember too, JSN's celebration swagger made headlines. The crossbar dunk became a lightning rod, a moment that connected eras. Why? Because we've seen that move before from '87. There's a lineage to this kind of showmanship, and it travels. So when the headline hits that Travis Kelce makes his opinion of JSN very clear, ears perk up. Kelce doesn't hand out hollow praise. He talks like a player who's seen it all and only salutes what's legit. That's why the story popped. Let's zoom out to the big picture for Kansas City fans. First, what Kelce recognizes in JSN is what keeps the league competitive: dynamic route runners who can stress too high shells. That's the NFL's new currency. If you can separate and finish, you're a problem on any Sunday. Why does that matter to Kansas City? Because Steve Spagnuolo's defense lives on leverage, disguise, and tackling in space. A receiver like JSN challenges leverage every snap, with option routes, whip routes, and intermediate digs. He's a stress test for communication between nickel, safety, and Mike. When a veteran like Kelce highlights a young receiver, it's also a message to the room. Stay sharp, because the league is getting faster and smarter at the same time. Spags knows this, and he builds weekly plans to erase your plan A. But the more plan A's a receiver has, the bigger the chess match. Second, Kelce's nod underscores the value of skilled slot work in today's NFL. Mahomes feasts when his guys win short to intermediate on time. That's exactly why the Chiefs keep layering the room with reliable separators and YAC threats. Complementary football makes Mahomes a supercharged decision-maker. Third, it's leadership by example. Kelce's always been the standard for craft, from stem work to leverage manipulation, from feel and space to post-catch swagger. When he salutes a young player, he's really saluting craft. There's also a cultural element. Swagger is part of the modern game, as long as you can back it up. JSN's dunk sparked debate, but the truth is, big moments need big energy. Fans love it, teammates love it, and it keeps primetime football electric. For the Chiefs, the takeaway is simple: keep drafting and developing players who can win early in the route. Keep stacking versatile weapons who stress a defense horizontally and then strike vertically. And keep the bar high in the receiver room, because that's how you stay in February conversations. Fans read Kelce's comments as a tip of the cap. Chiefs fans aren't threatened by praise for a rising NFC star. We're educated. We've watched Mahomes and Kelce respect great opponents for years, then beat them anyway. That's the championship mindset. Media love the symmetry. Kelce's own goalpost dunk became infamous. The fine, the fun, the folklore. JSN throws down a dunk of his own, and suddenly we're comparing eras. Football has its own version of pass the torch moments, and this was one of them. Seattle media framed it as validation. When a first ballot guy praises your young WR1, it hits different. It tells the locker room, yeah, we've got one. It tells defensive coordinators, tighten your landmarks. Around the league, the conversation shifted to craft. JSN is not just fast, He's smart in the underneath window. He knows where the void is when the hook defender turns his hips. He knows when to accelerate and when to throttle down. Chiefs fans responded with a mix of pride and curiosity. Pride because our guy Travis Kelce remains the gold standard at receiver craft from the tight end spot. Curiosity because we're always scouting the next wave of matchups. If we see Seattle in February someday, cue the fireworks. Social media did what social media does. Clips of JSN's route breaks, side-by-sides with classic Kelce snaps, edits of dunks over goalposts, dunk compilations set to 8th Stadium anthems. It's football culture blending with highlight culture, and Kelce's voice sits at the center. Let's shift from JSN back to the Chiefs' offense. Kelce's focus on receivers who separate quickly lines up with where Andy Reid and Matt Nagy keep evolving. Underneath efficiency sets up the explosives. You earn those deep shots by winning the intermediate game. Mahomes is lethal when a receiver squares up his landmark on time. Bang-bang timing throws turn into 20-yard gains when the first tackle misses. That's where Kansas City has to keep doubling down. Ball skills, poise, and feel beat press clout 9 times out of 10. Kelce's continued excellence is the model. He's been the human hot route for a decade. He sees coverage like a quarterback, he moves like a receiver, and he finishes like a power back. That's why the praise he gives out carries weight. And here's the quiet benefit. When the young guys in our building hear Kelce recognize another technician, they study. They go back to the tablet and look at stems, splits, and sight adjustments. Iron sharpens iron even across conferences. JSN thrives in the option tree. Choice routes against too high, quick outs against soft shoe press, glance routes when the safety hangs. He's a timing disruptor. He forces defenders to declare early, and once you declare, he counters. How would Spags play it? Rotate late with simulated pressures to muddy the post-snap picture. Trap from the slot to bait the quick stick, then drive it. And when you blitz, make the hot throw go outside the numbers, not into the soft belly. Linebacker detail is massive in this matchup type. Wall the crossers with inside leverage and violent hands. Force the extra gather step at the top of the route. That one beat is the difference between catch and run and rally and tackle. On third down, mug fronts and creepers. Make the ball come out when you want it to, not when the route wants it to. If TSN wants rhythm, you give him jazz. Syncopate the picture and take away the first read. This story is bigger than a headline. It's a window into why Kelce's legacy is untouchable. He celebrates great football even when it's not wearing red and gold, because excellence recognizes excellence. Think about the many receivers Kelce has praised over the years. It's never empty. There's always a detail, a footwork note, a leverage trick, a situational mastery. Today, JSN gets that nod. For the Chiefs fan base, that's our weekly reminder of standards. It's not just about rings, it's about the craft that gets you rings. That's why Kansas City stays in the hunt every season. We practice what we preach. Let's talk about the dunk. It's part performance, part statement, part baton pass to the next generation. The league polices props, fines happen, we all know the rules. But controlled swagger is good for the sport. Kelce's history with that exact celebration made this moment poetic. Different jersey, same vibe. It's like a nod across the line of scrimmage. I see you. Fans live for that stuff. Will the league keep the fines coming? Sure, but the highlight still lives forever, and the message still lands. Big players make big plays, and they're not afraid to let you feel it. Kansas City's blueprint remains the same. Load up on smart separators, value players who can finish after the catch, and keep Mahomes armed with options that stress rules. Travis Kelce's perspective is a compass for the room. If he's praising the rise of a technician like JSN, he's reminding everyone what matters. Not just speed, savvy, timing, trust. The Chiefs are still chasing margins. In January, games shrink to 6 or 7 critical snaps. Winners own the leverage on those snaps. That's where Kelce lives and where our next generation has to live too. So what's the bottom line? Travis Kelce made his opinion of Jaxon Smith-Njigba crystal clear. Respect earned. And when the standard bearer respects your game, you're officially on the NFL's radar. For Kansas Kingdom, it's both a compliment to the craft and a reminder of the path. Keep drafting smart, keep coaching details, keep trusting 15 and 87 to define the culture, and keep building toward another deep January run. If we see Seattle down the road, we'll be ready. And if JSN keeps ascending, that only makes the NFL better. Iron sharpens iron, and the Chiefs sharpen the whole league. That's what dynasties do. If you love this breakdown, hit subscribe and help us on the push to 5,000 subs. Turn on notifications so you don't miss our next Chiefs news drop. Rumors, film, and fan reaction every day. I'm fired up, you're fired up, and Kansas City is always fired up. Drop your takes in the comments and join the road to 5,000 subs here on Kansas City Chiefs Today.